I'm not a lawyer, but let's talk about Diddy. Okay, so everybody knows Diddy's house was raided on Monday, and as of now, there aren't any documents accessible by the public regarding that raid or the ongoing investigation. Everything is speculation, but there is something that I can recap. Okay, so back in February, the 5th civil lawsuit against Diddy was filed by this man whose name is Rodney Jones. Y'all remember this one? Rodney was a producer for the Love album, and his lawsuit included some stories about a redacted R&B singer and a rapper. And that lawsuit also included some images that Rodney claimed to be Stevie J. Well, on Monday, the same day as the raid, that lawsuit was amended, like a V2. So let me outline for you the differences between the original lawsuit and the amended lawsuit. You ready? First up, Cuba Gooding Jr. has been added to the second lawsuit as a defendant. There were claims and pictures made about Cuba essaying and harassing Rodney in the first lawsuit, but that was the extent of it. Now, in this amended complaint, Cuba is officially listed as a defendant, and now cause of action number 12, 13, and 14 are all against Cuba specifically. The next difference is that 2 of the defendants have been removed on this amended lawsuit. A woman named Ethiopia, I'm not going to try to pronounce her last name, we'll just go with Ethiopia. She was at one point the CEO of Motown Records. Well, according to docs, in exchange for being removed as a defendant on this lawsuit, Ethiopia has agreed to submit a declaration and, if called upon, will testify thereto. Now, the declaration that she submitted is basically a timeline of her career. When she worked at UMG, when she worked at Motown, who she reported to, etc. So this deal is basically that if called upon, she will testify thereto, meaning what's in her declaration. The other defendant that's been removed from the lawsuit is Chalice Studios, which is a studio in LA. And if you need a refresher, Chalice Studios is where Rodney claims that a weapon was discharged by either Diddy or his son in the bathroom, and a man named G was on the receiving end of that discharging of that weapon. You follow that? And regarding that incident, there are a few things that have been added to the amended lawsuit. This image of Diddy allegedly at Chalice Studios a couple hours before the firearm got discharged has been added to the suit, as well as this screenshot, which is Rodney alleging that Diddy and his son were hiding out at another studio when the police came to investigate what happened to G. Rodney notes that Diddy and Jay Combs were the first to depart after officers left, and the footnote says that this fact will be made crystal clear in discovery. The amended lawsuit also says that there has been no citing of G. And it says that after the initial lawsuit was filed, someone reached out to a person that knows Rodney, attempting to get information about Rodney. That Rodney's daughter was also contacted, allegedly by someone connected to Diddy. See, I'm gonna leave that right there. Moving on. Okay, in the first lawsuit, there were some images included of what Rodney alleged was Stevie J engaging in some activities with a man. After the lawsuit came out, Stevie J said that image is not him. And then another man who has an interesting line of work came out and said that that image is of him doing his line of work. So in this amended lawsuit, those pictures are no longer included, but Rodney has a footnote that says that he stands by his position that Diddy provided him with the video and identified the individual in the video as Stevie J. The initial lawsuit included that Diddy's chief of staff, a woman named Christina or KK, required that employees walk around with a black Prada pouch filled with substances. And in this amended lawsuit, Rodney has now included a picture of Diddy's butler wearing what he says is one of those pouches. The amendment also includes this picture, which Rodney says is of Brendan Paul. Now, if you've been paying attention to the news, on Monday, when Diddy was at the airport while his house was being raided, the feds pulled up and there was only one person who was arrested. And that person was 25-year-old Brendan Paul. Brendan was charged with 2 counts of possession of some stuff and 1 count of possession of some other stuff. So the first and the amended lawsuit both say that Brendan Paul is Diddy's mule. Rodney alleges that Brendan acquires and distributes substances and weapons. Are y'all keeping up? Okay, just a few more things before I go. In this amended complaint, Rodney says Diddy had a few women on a monthly stipend, and he includes who those women are. And Rodney specifically notes that it's unclear if the women who got the stipend were provided the appropriate United States federal tax documents for those payments. See, not Rodney trying to see if they was paying taxes. Sir. Last thing, this amended complaint includes a table of Rodney claiming times in which substances were trafficked from one place to another. And at the bottom of the table are some footnotes that I'm just going to leave up so you can read yourself. All right, there are more differences between the initial lawsuit and the amended lawsuit, but these are the big ones. I'll be talking through the rest of them on my podcast, I'm Not a Lawyer, but the debrief. The episode will be up on Friday, but if you're in my Patreon, you got to watch it live today and you already had these documents. So either join my Patreon or go subscribe to my YouTube channel because we're going to talk about it.